All right, we're gonna do a 5,000 mile review on this Chevy Silverado 1500 3.0 Duramax. I guess the first thing, hey boys, Coco, Rocky. I've been using this fuel additive and it's cut out. I had real subtle knocking and it's cut that out for the most part. It's pretty much knocked it down to zero, but it was extremely subtle knocking. But here's the sucky part. I don't know if you can see it, but this seat here, like it's melted. There's a melt spot. And what happened is I was using the fuel additive. I filled it up and I put it, and it just kind of laid there like that, and it was leaking. And there's a lot of fuel around here, this additive, and it like melted part of this upholstery. I'm gonna have to, it left a permanent mark. I'm gonna have to buy a new seat now. Anyway, so here we go. 5,000 mile review. I didn't clean the truck up. I wanted to you to see it in the real world, but we have these all-weather snap together floor liners. They cover everything from way up here to way back here. The way back here. The bad news is that I had a storage box under here, and I got these mats from Chevy's website, and you can't fit the box in the back and the floor mats. You'd have to drill a hole through these things to get the box back in, but then this lip is in the way. Anyway, so no storage box if you use these floor liners, but they do a great job. We're pretty muddy up here in the Pacific Northwest, and they keep everything protected. There's carpet up to this point, and they just help everything shed right off onto the plastic and out the car. So it's keeping the carpet really clean. Anyway, that's the fuel additive right there. We're gonna get in this bad boy, start it up, hit the road, and talk about what's going on. First thing we're going to do here, look at some diagnostics for you. All right, and you'll see we have here we go. We have I haven't reset it, so I have 4,985 miles. This is a new truck. I got it with about 10 miles on it or so. Average fuel is 27.2. Not too bad, not too bad. So you see right there, 27.2. Let's keep going down. Fuel range, my oil life's at 33%. So considering I have roughly 5,000 miles on it and my oil life is 33%, we're coming up to an oil change here. Tire pressure, looking good. Fuel filter. Just looking at all these diagnostics for you. Fuel filter life, engine hours, 139.3, and def. I filled up the def once with 2 gallons. So when I first bought it, there was about the def was about half full. I ran it down to about half and added another 2 gallons, topped it off. So we're just gonna go back here, talk about a couple of things. The so we're getting about 27.2 miles per gallon. The most of the miles, 90% of my miles, are highway. I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest, and up here I'm going up and down various highways. Not incredibly fast. I'd say averaging about 50 miles an hour or so, between 50 and 60 probably average, but that's 90% of my miles. The remaining are just running around town, going to the hardware store, going to the lumber store, things like that. We went over the diagnostics. When I first got the truck, there was some knocking, very subtle knocking when I was switching gears. And it started when I was at a full stop at a stop sign or stoplight, and I started taking off real slow. I was babying the truck, and you know, was taking off real slow, and you kind of hear a very subtle knocking while the transmission was switching gears at low RPMs. But after I started adding the fuel additive, and then you know, after I added the fuel additive, the knocking, that real subtle knocking, pretty much went away. And it's really gone away now that after I put a couple thousand miles on it. I think it was just a break-in period for the truck. We talked about the floor mats. You know, they're down here as well. Floor liners, they snap. My daughter made a little trash can for me. They snap together here, you know, in the middle. So they cover the whole floor, center console, everything. I'm gonna wait for these cars to go by. We talked about DEF fluid. The regen, now some people say you can't tell when the engine regens. Now that I put 5,000 miles on it, I can tell, because the noise changes. There's like a real muffled noise, and it's like a ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's not that exaggerated, but you hear a muffled noise when you are rolling down the road, and you know it's not the normal sound, and it kind of feels like you're hearing a back pressure type noise. And that happens for about, I don't know, just a few minutes while I'm driving down the road. And that regen happens, that noise happens about every 250 miles. I started tracking it on my trip 2. So I have here on the Diagnostics, I have a trip 1, and I have trip 2, and I started measuring when that noise happened, and it was happening at about 250-ish miles, or twice a tank, somewhere around there. The front of this truck, I don't know what it is. It is like a bug magnet. It is, you know, July, and I got the truck a couple months ago, and boy, this thing catches a whole lot of bugs in the front. The ride is smooth. It's a good ride. You know, it's not too bumpy. It rides like a truck. The ride really smooths out when you get a load in the back. I haven't towed anything, but I have hauled a lot of materials. So we're talking about, you know, concrete bags, wood. I've hauled lots of roof panels, the metal panels that are up to 12 foot long. I just stack them poke them out the back. I do not lower the tailgate because I don't want them sliding out. I keep the tailgate raised up, and I just stack the roof panels on top of the tailgate. No problems there. Power and efficiency. This truck, this Duramax 3.0 with this 10-speed transmission, has a really good ratio of power and fuel efficiency. It has a really good torque. Even when I'm hauling heavy stuff in the back, I mean, I've really loaded this truck down so the back is sagging on me. Not too much, but you know, a good sag. You can tell it's sagging. And it still has a lot of pickup. The errors, you know, I haven't seen any errors come up in the dash or in any of the diagnostics. I'm going to take the truck down to the dealership next week and have them change the oil. The first oil change, they said, is free. But overall, very satisfied with the truck. No problems except for that really, and I wouldn't really call it a problem, just that real subtle, barely noticed, barely detectable engine knocking that happened when the engine was new and when I was taking off from a dead stop at stop signs and just being real light-footed on the pedal. So other than that, no problems with the truck, running fine, no problems, and I'm going to take care of this. I'll keep putting the fuel additive in it with every fill up. I'll keep the oil changed every 5,000 miles, and I think I'm going to get a lot of life out of this truck. I don't use the four-wheel drive that much, only when I'm going up the driveway at times, I will set it in 4-wheel drive. But you know, I'm not off-roading. I'm not ripping through mud or any kind of, you know, fire trails or anything like that. That's my review so far. 5,000 miles. If I had to do it all over again, I would probably get the same truck. I did go back and forth between the RST, the Rally Sport, and this LT, the luxury trim on the Silverado 1500 with the 3.0 Duramax. And really, the only thing the RST gives you is a small lift. But that lift is going to cut down on your gas mileage, and I'm really looking for something that's going to get me good gas mileage, and you know, long life with the ability to haul some stuff here and there. I hope you gotten something from this review. I'll keep an eye out for the next video. Talk to you later.